communism, but will fight for freedom of speech for communists.
Who signed the yeah, right, like how they should. You could look it up. There's all kinds of stuff.
This is a good perspective. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fully monetized.
Yes.
As long as you are like within the correct, like rainbow flag of things, you can put all kinds of wild stuff up. Not have to censor it at all. Seems kind of strange, but you can do that.
And it's kind of funny, too, as well, when people go, well, the Republicans are fighting for freedom of speech. No, if you listen to those hearings, they're just mad that they're not censoring the right people. They want pro-Palestinian censor, pro-Iranians, pro-Chinese. They want them censored. There's only a small group of libertarian-minded, like Republicans like Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, who hate communism, but will fight for freedom of speech for communists.
Who signed the yeah, right, like how they should.
Yeah.
Who signed the anti-BDS law? I don't remember what state. Remember the BDS, which I wasn't a part of. I didn't feel a need to be a part of that. But they try to pass laws in states that you can't.
Yeah. Florida.
You're not allowed to boycott some. It was crazy.
Well, it wasn't Florida, but Ron DeSantis was one of those guys saying you can't boycott.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
So here's the thing. Not just there's two avenues. There's Section 230 of the NDAA, which protects YouTube and other platforms as long as they agree to enter into an agreement with the United States citizens where they're going to be a platform and not a publisher.
Yes, I'm aware.
Meaning they cannot pick winners or losers. They have to be consistent across the board. Now, to do that, you should be transparent.
Yeah, but that's what the newspaper. That is the basis of the newspaper when they started it. That law that Robert F. Kennedy quoted to do with YouTube, all it does is make them not liable for other people's content. It can't affect the Constitution because the Constitution is what the whole country's founded on, and Congress shall make no law. When it says Congress shall make no law, blah, 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 petitioning free speech and the press, it's all here as listed, not just one of them, right? When the Hill keeps saying, oh, there's no First Amendment protection on platforms. No, there is. There is. The First Amendment that's what it actually is. Like, what is the First Amendment? The First Amendment actually is the right to air things not only with your voice, but through the mediums of transmission, the press, news, speaking, writing, it's all of them. The right to transmit, right? But it's not even just, it's for the Constitution of America, so it can function. So you can, like, mail, you can't, if you didn't have that right, you wouldn't have the right to send letters back and forth between courts and the government for, for voting elections and your petitions to get on what we think the law should be and get them changed and made, right? That's what it is. The whole First Amendment, this whole big thing, we the people, it's not normal just going to buy a sandwich or I've got a TV show about, golf or something. It's not, we the people, the Constitution. It's not actually just normal life. It is that petition freedom of speech and the press is so you can actually work and function for engagement with the government, or else you couldn't actually speak to the government or to each other. It is, if that had been invented, another 10 or 20 or whatever years after, it would have included the electric telegraph as well, not just the printing. It is. That's what it actually is. And the Hill and this show and the other are all overlooking the bit of the law which gives a legal requirement to publish. And it is the fact that, this whole constitution in America or in England, we've got His Majesty's government, right? There is a piece, a part of democracy in everything, even in the money you've got, it's not your money, it's meant to be the states or whatever. Every company that's formed has got a certificate of the government, right? It has to comply with the laws. You form a company, but you've got a certificate, it's still the government, basically. That's why the companies have got to comply. The platform can't say, we don't, we're not subject to the law. You can't have policies to say we're not subject to the law. Like YouTube can't say we're not going to comply with employment law. We're not, this is the thing. They can't just start writing off the law. But what is the law? Are you arguing about employment law with YouTube? The law is that you've got the right to publish. We is publishing on YouTube. It doesn't matter what type or style or form of publishing it is. You are any communication basically with another member of the public, which includes speaking to another person stood next to you in a private building, like at work. Look, right, if you're working and packing widgets, right, and your boss says stop talking, right, this is a thing to do with unions and talking about, like, politics, who you're going to vote for, or beg your pardon, something like that, right? And that's where this law comes in. The right to freedom for politics. Because you can have as many, in a library or whatever private building or policy it is, and, even if you claim you can't speak, or in Facebook, you can only talk about golf in a golf group, or the admin can throw you out. Actually, you are protected. But if you just carry on saying that they can do it, you've been brainwashed, right? And that's the thing. The Hill, they've got them brainwashed. Jimmy Dawes show, they've got them brainwashed. Russell Brand's got, 40 odd million and access to whatever lawyers he wants, right? A lot of these lawyers are misleading, and it's the fact that telling you, right, that, you haven't got the rights. This is the thing where I'm not sure whether I trust this black belt barrister or not. I'm not sure whether I trust him because, he's Crown, he's, these, King's Council people and the barristers, they all seem on the side of the Crown, really, I'm not sure whether I trust them or not, whether they're misleading us. You can't stop people from talking about politics. That subject itself, wherever you're talking about it and however you talk about it, it's like it's the same as all these criminal offences. All these offences, right? You can't. On YouTube, they're enforcing the law because the law applies. The policies are meant to be there because of the law, right? As if YouTube could say that, this, stupid cage fight theory, like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg, or if you consent to a cage fight, then you can slap each other around. Well, could YouTube have a policy that said, you have to consent to slapping each other around, and none of the laws apply? You can't take any legal action against any other members. If you use YouTube, you've got to agree to be slapped around, right? Well, why don't they do that? Make it a lot easier for everyone. Why don't they say, no laws apply? Well, they actually can. They can, even if they wanted to. You're telling me that YouTube could say, if you agree to this policy, right, you can all punch each other and hit each other like a cage fight. But, if you don't agree to that, you can't come on. I don't think they can, because then they're creating somewhere, an area or arena where, they're literally receding the laws. You can't set up your own country. You can't set up your own country as if you're some sort of drug baron or lord. Look, YouTube is not a country. When you enter YouTube at all points, whether it's through the front door or online, they can't actually say, oh, you've got to, our policy is that, oh, why not have all of it? All the Constitution doesn't apply. It's like in one big cage fight frenzy. You actually, on the door, you're signing away every law of America and all your rights, if they wanted to, like they could not. So you're telling me that Paul Rand believes that if I walk up to YouTube, if they wanted to, they could have a lawyer with a document that says, if you walk in this building, not one of the laws of America applies, you're signing away all your rights, and we can, you're consenting to be headbutted, stabbed, and whatever. No matter how stupid you think, it's the fact of if they could do it or not. That would mean that anyone could do it in their own house. So we might as well all just start having a policy on our front door which says, oh, none of the laws of England apply in here. You've got to sign them all up, give them away. Well, why doesn't everyone do that? And then, why don't all the criminals do that? And then the police can never come round. You can't do it. The politics is on YouTube. The First Amendment rights apply to politics, wherever it is and wherever you go with it and wherever you're talking about it, like a shadow. You can't take your shadow away from you. And that's the thing with YouTube. They cannot disattach it with their policy because they're not legally allowed to in the First Amendment. And they're conning you into thinking that you can. It's actually you. It's nothing to do with where you are. It's to do with you. You yourself. And your video is you. It is you. It's your voice talking, right? And it's your voice transmitting. What the First Amendment means, right, is that when your voice vibrates inside your body and transmits out, that is protected, and it doesn't matter whether it wiggles down a phone line or through pixels on a screen or anywhere. When it is for that political purpose, it is protected in its oscillations wherever it spreads out. You can't be liable, right? And even in private, because that would mean that if you're in a private house, right, they can't stop you from speaking. And even if they ask you to leave, actually, to be honest, right, if you're in a party and someone asks you your opinion or whatever, this is the thing. You gravitate towards friends because you like them. At work, people don't choose who they work with. They might not like the people they work with at work, but they put up with it because they're being paid. They put up with it because they're being paid. They're under employment, right? And why don't they just walk out and leave? Oh, I've got to put up with it, or else I won't get my money, right? I don't like these people. I'm money because it's my job. In a party, all right, if you want to leave or whatever, or why would you be there if you didn't like the people? This is the thing. In politics, we've all consented, whether we like it or not, we all agree that we should be free to speak about these things, and it's the belief and principle. Now, what YouTube are doing, they're almost like being a bad party host, right? When the party rules say on the wall, we're not going to hold anything against you if you tell us the true opinion. I'd rather you be honest and tell the truth rather than lie to keep me happy. But what YouTube wants you to do is not tell the truth, not give you an opinion. They'd rather you shut up and be quiet or not say anything in order to manipulate you. And actually, that is what the First Amendment prevents, right? Because why would you want to speak to anyone in life? Sometimes it's polite to keep people happy. Sometimes it's friend, or I'll refrain from saying this because I don't want to upset them, right? But when it gets onto the subjects of politics, you don't lie or not say something when it's important. This is the thing. This is the principles. This new Neil Mohan, he wants everyone just to rather have a happy face, Ronald McDonald face, and, not tell the truth in how they really feel. In fact, he wants to try and change their truth in who they feel. And that's wrong. The First Amendment is all about, when it comes to serious matters, you've got to say what you think, add your opinion in, even if the other person doesn't like it. Or else, how can you haven't got a vote or a say if you can't do that. I just can't believe how much they've got these Americans duped. And I am getting sick of it.